We have already discussed a number of wide receivers in the 2024 NFL Draft so far this year. This class is shaping up to be one of those all-time great wide receiver classes, and the amount of talent in this draft is absolutely absurd. One of the players in this class who has generated some potential first-round buzz is Oregon wide receiver Troy Franklin. Another one of these Pac-12 receivers who has been putting the world on notice, and he has been absolutely tearing it up for the Oregon Ducks this year, and he is extremely explosive. You guys voted as a part of Conference Championship Weekend over on my Twitter, and so we're going to get into this one. But first, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and let me know what your guys' thoughts and opinions are of Troy Franklin. But without further ado, let's get into this. Franklin had a very good season in 2022, his first year with quarterback Bo Nix. He had 56 catches for 867 yards and 8 touchdowns on the year for the Ducks, who were very good last season. They started off slow against Georgia, but they completely turned their year around. And in 2023, Franklin has been even better this year. He has 77 receptions for 1,349 yards and 14 touchdowns this year, and he is helping keep the Ducks alive, and they are right in the mix for the college football playoff. Franklin has a very large catch radius, which is something that will immediately stick out with him. He is 6'3" with extremely long arms, and he has some freakish athleticism for his size. He's able to use his size and his arms to catch throws that only he can, and that is obviously a great trait to have at the NFL level. In terms of his size, Franklin is extremely explosive off the line of a scrimmage. For a guy standing at 6'3", he has excellent speed, and there are so many times where he'll just run right by the defender. His last timed 40, he ran in the 4.3s, which is absolutely ridiculous for a player of his size. He has an extremely quick first step, and he does not slow down. He keeps his foot on the gas, which is something that I absolutely love from him. And once he gets the ball in the open field, he's taking it for a house call. He is going to absolutely run by everyone on the defense, and his size and his speed are going to be major selling points for him in the NFL Draft. He's also a super shifty route runner. He breaks his routes quickly, and he is able to maintain his speed while doing this. He can stop and go on a dime, and he sells his routes beautifully. I absolutely love his versatility as a route runner, and he has a very large route tree, which is something NFL teams are going to be salivating over. He's able to create separation and man coverage in one-on-one matchups due to his speed and his shiftiness, but he also does a very good job of finding the soft spots in the zone, settling down, and turning that into a positive play. I really like that from Franklin, and he shows the ability to make plays in both the passing game, in man-to-man coverage, and zone, and he's a really smart football player. There are some areas of Franklin's game that I am slightly concerned about. For one, Franklin has a bit of a slender frame for the position. While he stands at 6'3", and he's got long arms, and all of that is great, he only weighs 178 pounds, which is very slim for the position. He has to be able to bulk up and add some weight in terms of muscle when he gets to the NFL, or he is going to be pushed around by these bigger and more physical cornerbacks that he is going to be going up against. As a run blocker, Franklin is completely non-existent. It is almost like he doesn't even try on some plays, and it seems like he takes some plays off, which is another concern I do have of his. But as a blocker, he will try to engage, but he is not able to hold his blocks for a really long time. And this is something that is important for wide receivers to be able to do, especially for outside run schemes, and Franklin has not shown an ability to do that on a consistent basis whatsoever. Lastly, something I'm going to monitor are Franklin's hands. He does struggle with the occasional drop from time to time, but that's not what I'm worried about. It feels like a lot of times Troy Franklin wants to catch the ball more with his body and less with his hands. Now, this is not an every down thing or something that I'm extremely worried about, but he has shown that he does like to go to his body. He has shown some unbelievable ball skills and pulled in some great hand catches, but it is something that I am taking note of and am going to monitor when it comes to Franklin. I liked Franklin coming into this year a lot, and he's only gone up for me. I have Troy Franklin as my number 6 wide receiver in this class, and I absolutely love his upside. He is currently my number 41 player on my big board. I think Troy Franklin would work best in a vertical offense. His speed and his size could make him very tough to match up against at the NFL level, and I think an offense that spreads the wide receivers and runs a lot of passing plays would absolutely love to have a player like Franklin in their offense. Coming up with a comp for Franklin was admittedly very tough. I originally thought Courtland Sutton, but the more I have watched Sutton this year, I think that's a terrible comparison. I'm going to go with Devonta Smith. Yes, I know this is the easy one, the small wide receivers in terms of frame, but Franklin is a little bit bigger in terms of frame, but they're both super shifty, super quick wide receivers who have excellent body control, but they're also very small in terms of their frame. I think Franklin could be a very similar player to that in the NFL. Franklin is explosive. He's electric, and he is so much fun to watch. There are so many wide receiver needy teams that I think are going to be head over heels for a wide receiver like this, but with it being such a loaded wide receiver class, I think he could slip a little bit in the draft. Ultimately, I think that Troy Franklin will be a top 50 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.